Goku stood in the middle of the arena, burning with anger. His eyes glowed with sparks of fury, and an immense energy surrounded him. Everyone watched in silence, especially Xeno 2, whose face betrayed no expression. Suddenly, Goku shouted at the top of his lungs, "I won't let you go any further." Goku's grandfather, who stood beside him, tried to warn him, saying, "Goku, this isn't an opponent you can handle so easily." But Goku didn't listen. His heart was filled with rage, and all he could think of was vengeance. Xeno 2 raised his hand, releasing a dark aura around him to deflect the attack. He spoke coldly, "Do you think you have what it takes to destroy me?" Suddenly, his energy exploded unexpectedly, turning the area into a battlefield of fire and light. Everyone felt the immense storm of power shaking the ground, the air thick with tension and astonishment. Yet Goku remained unfazed by Xeno's attack, standing firm with a defiant smile, as if the assault was nothing more than a gentle breeze. Xeno 2, seeing Goku brush off his attack entirely, exploded in anger, his face contorted with hatred. In a rage, he declared, "I will show you, Goku. You will be nothing but a memory. You will face every enemy you've ever fought before. This time, no one will save you." He raised his hand, summoning Goku's old enemies, many of whom had grown far stronger than before, to join forces against him. Goku looked at them all, his smile dripping with mockery. He turned to Xeno 2 and said, "I'll show you something, Xeno. Watch closely. I'm here to prove that you have no idea what my true strength is." Then, with unshakable confidence, Goku raised his hand, and in a flash, unleashed an immense attack that obliterated his enemies one by one in a single blow. Goku's foes vanished within seconds, and everything around him shattered as if caught in a storm. Xeno 2, standing stunned, was briefly overcome with awe. But then, suddenly, Xeno 2's expression changed, his anger replaced by a sinister smile. Slowly, he moved his hand through the air, as if freezing time, and said in a cold voice, "If you insist on defiance, then I'll start with what matters to you most. I'll erase your father, but..." Goku, who had never experienced such a surge of anger before, was overcome with shock and emotional turmoil. Bardock, his father, whom he only knew through faint memories, was now under Xeno 2's threat. Tears filled his eyes as he screamed, "No, you can't do that. Stop." But Xeno 2 didn't relent. He had made his decision. With malice sparkling in his eyes, he unleashed a dark light toward Bardock, engulfing him in an instant. That moment was like a nightmare for Goku. He heard Bardock's cry as his energy faded away before his eyes. Goku, losing his father once again, felt his heart shatter. His rage soared to an unprecedented level. Without thinking, he charged at Xeno 2 with all his strength, ready to deliver an unprecedented attack. But suddenly, he paused, noticing something strange. Xeno 2 hadn't moved and was watching calmly. Xeno 2 sneered, "You can't defeat me like this. Now, I've decided to make you suffer until you yield." He motioned to the guards, ordering them to begin torturing Goku. The guards attacked him mercilessly. Despite their fierce blows, Goku was overwhelmed by emotional pain, leaving him unusually vulnerable. Amid Goku's cries, his grandfather watched in stunned silence, his heart aching at the sight of his grandson's suffering. Finally, as Goku began to lose consciousness from the relentless torture, the grandfather unleashed a devastating attack, scattering the guards into the air and obliterating them. Xeno 2, caught off guard by such a bold move, was momentarily stunned. But as Goku looked up in agony to see what had happened, Xeno 2 retaliated, striking the grandfather with a powerful blow that sent him crashing to the ground. Goku screamed in anguish as he watched his grandfather fall. Xeno 2, observing the devastation, said calmly, "You're too late, Goku. This is the end." As Goku and his grandfather lay battered on the ground, silence filled the air. Xeno 2 stood tall, watching Goku's broken body with malice. Suddenly, Xeno 2 erupted in fury, his energy surging until the very ground quaked. With a chilling declaration, he said, "I'll start with you first, Goku," and prepared to unleash his ultimate attack. Meanwhile, in another realm, was decided to reveal the secret of his transformation into an angel to Frieza, who had taken Beerus' place as the ruler of Universe 7. This revelation occurred at a critical moment. Whis, now an angel, explained to Frieza that becoming an angel was not merely about gaining immense power. It required rigorous training and deep intellectual and spiritual refinement. He described starting as an ordinary servant, but through wisdom and mastery of cosmic balance, he ascended to angelic status, a transformation that came at a great cost. He credited his mother as the key to his success in training and evolution. The next day, after meeting Whis, Frieza decided to visit Zeno's palace under the pretense of inquiring about his appointment as Universe 7's ruler. His true intention was to consolidate more power, and he chose this moment to confront Zeno directly. The Grand Priest greeted him coldly, clearly displeased with Frieza's presence in the palace. But Frieza was determined to meet Zeno. Upon entering the hall, he began laying out his case. In Zeno's palace, Frieza spoke in a sharp tone, staring directly at Zeno. Before I reveal the truth, know that you've recently suffered partial memory loss. There's something I need you to do. I can no longer be just a servant or subordinate to you. If you want me to remain part of this universe at the level you desire, I demand that you make me an immortal king. Also, you must get rid of the guards monitoring me. I refuse to remain under their watchful eyes any longer. Their authority here is obsolete. Zeno didn't react immediately. He listened in silence, and although he said little, it was clear he was carefully considering Frieza's demands. After a moment of tense silence, he raised his hand and dismissed the guards. Zeno replied calmly, "Your terms are accepted, but remember, what happens next is entirely your responsibility." Frieza smirked maliciously, relishing the power now in his grasp. He taunted, "Good. Now everything is as I desire. I'll reveal the truth to you. Goku, that fool, is the one responsible for your damage. He's the one who disrespected you all along, and ultimately, he paid the price with his life." Zeno, shocked by Frieza's blunt words, didn't display fear but stood enraged. He repeated with a seething tone, "Very well, Frieza, proceed with your work. You are now an immortal king. I will erase everyone connected to Goku for keeping this secret from me." In the battlefield, where the ground had been turned into a wasteland, Goku's grandfather stood before Zeno with a body battered by time but a heart full of determination. He knew he had little left to give, but his protective instinct pushed him to make one last stand. The grandfather, with a bittersweet smile, looked at Goku and said, "I've always known there was something special inside you, Kakarot. Now, it's my turn to repay the debt. Don't let your anger blind you. Fight, but be strong and cautious." Before Goku could protest, the grandfather charged at Zeno. His attack was heroic but more akin to a desperate attempt. Zeno, without hesitation, unleashed an assault that tore the grandfather to pieces. Goku, stunned, trembled as he watched his grandfather obliterated before his very eyes. He let out a scream that shook the heavens. That moment unlocked something within him, something unimaginable. His body began glowing with an unfamiliar and otherworldly power. Energy surged through him as if it belonged to another realm. Goku's transformation began, and the sheer magnitude of his power left everyone, including Zeno himself, speechless. Zeno muttered in astonishment as he observed the transformation. "What is this? I've never seen anything like it before. This energy isn't natural." When the transformation was complete, Goku spoke in a low, confident voice. "It's time for judgment. This power isn't just for me. It's for everyone you've wronged, and for everyone who lost their lives because of you." As everyone stood in disbelief, another Zeno appeared in the sky, accompanied by a strange, radiant aura. This was the Zeno informed earlier by Frieza. The two Zeniths faced each other in the air, their gazes identical. Goku, now brimming with confidence and strength, raised his head and looked at them, saying mockingly, "Two of you? Even better. That means I won't have to hunt you down later. I'll finish everything here, all at once." The first Zeno looked at his counterpart and sneered. "This creature is far too arrogant." The second Zeno replied, "If he thinks he can stand against us, let's show him why we are the absolute rulers of this world." Goku finally spoke with a smile full of defiance. "Get ready, because now I'll show you why you can't mess with me or those I care about." In a moment of rage and eruption, Goku's energy spread in an unprecedented manner. The ground beneath him cracked, and the sky turned black, charged with electricity. A new, unknown transformation appeared, characterized by a dense aura pulsating with dazzling light. This was the direct result of his grandfather's teachings and sacrifice, as if his spirit had merged with Goku's power to reach its peak. With a steady gaze and radiant eyes, Goku confidently declared, "It doesn't matter how strong you are. I'll stop you here and now, and I won't let anyone sacrifice themselves for me ever again." Zeno the First turned to his counterpart and coldly said, "This creature poses a real threat. It's time to end this chaos." Zeno the Second, with a majestic smile, replied, "Excellent idea. Let us unite. Then, we will become something even he cannot fathom." The two began to approach each other, and the entire world lit up with a blinding light. Their fusion was a terrifying phenomenon. Immeasurable energy emanated from their combined being. Their aura became a blend of destructive cosmic forces, and their eyes glowed with an indescribable brilliance. Goku, watching the development without losing his composure, said calmly, "No matter how strong you are now, I'm here and I'm ready." Standing firmly before the fused Zeno, Goku's energy surged. In a quiet yet rage-laden voice, he said, "Before this war begins, I want to know the truth. Why are you targeting me? And why did my grandfather die because of you?" The fused Zeno, radiating arrogance and power, responded coldly, "Your grandfather? That useless old man was an obstacle. He tried to prevent us from imposing our rule on the world of the dead. Do you think his sacrifice was a coincidence? He was a hindrance, so we erased him." Goku's eyes widened in shock, but he tried to keep himself composed. In a hoarse voice, he asked, "My grandfather was protecting me?" The fused Zeno added with a mocking smile, "Not just your grandfather. Your father, your mother, even your friends, they all paid the price for rebelling against us. And here's a piece of information to fuel your anger. It was Frisia who came to us and convinced us that you were the cause of all the destruction, that eliminating you was essential to restoring order." Goku remained silent for a moment before erupting in a loud voice. "Frisia, that scoundrel! Wasn't it enough that he destroyed my people? Now he's responsible for the deaths of those I love." The fused Zeno, with a tone full of mockery, replied, "Goku, you're nothing but a curse to everyone. Anyone who gets close to you ends up dead or broken. But don't worry, the suffering will soon end, because you simply won't exist anymore." Goku's aura flared with unprecedented power, and his eyes burned with fury. In a determined voice, he said, "You've taken everything from me. Now I will end this injustice. If I have to destroy all your power, I won't hesitate." The fused Zeno continued, "But before you begin, I'll share one last secret. The world of the dead, where you now stand, I control it. Every soul, every entity here, is under my command. Your grandfather was the only one who knew that, which is why he stood against me and ended up like the rest." The battle began. Goku's first attack was like lightning, rushing toward the fused Zeno with unimaginable speed. Their collision created an explosive force that lit up the sky and darkened the earth. The impact was deafening, felt by everyone in the other world and even by the living on distant planets. Each time the fused Zeno unleashed his energy, Goku countered with an equal or greater strike. Their battles tore through space itself, with energy lines piercing dimensions, signaling that something greater than life was unfolding. The fused Zeno, enraged, exclaimed, "How can you keep up with me? I am the ultimate power." Goku, with a cold smile, replied, "Ultimate power? It's nothing compared to ultimate will. I'm here to end this injustice." Even the dead paused their tasks to witness the struggle. The battle seemed endless, but something strange occurred within the grand palace of the afterlife. The Grand Priest, the last defender of the palace, stood in the main hall, channeling energy to protect the place. Sweat dripped from his brow as he muttered to himself, "If this place falls, the entire world will disappear. I can't let that happen." As he concentrated his power, he suddenly felt something unusual, a strange energy coursing through him. He placed a hand on his chest, his eyes widening in shock. In a trembling voice, he said, What is this feeling?" From the shadows, Frisia appeared with slow, arrogant steps. In a mocking tone, he said, Can't you see, priest? It's time you realize that this throne was never